Hello human extraterrestrials. So today, first thing, while where my pride flag has fallen and died, bless her heart. Blue tack isn't an ideal thing for holding up my flag, but we will fix it eventually. And for now, I have that one up there anyway. So yeah, today I am going to be talking to you about this is sort of a book haul of sorts, but it's not only books that I bought, but also books that I was received as gifts for Christmas this year. So we're gonna go through them, and then that'll be that. So first I'm gonna go through all the ones I'll go through all the ones I was gifted first. A few of which I've already started reading. Three of which I've already started reading. So yeah, so this is the first one. This is Women Our History. The foreword by Lucy Worsley. This is sort of like a textbooky kind of book about the history of women. Let me find a page that shows its textbookiness. It's a bit textbooky, but so far, because I've been reading it like a book and not just like a thing you can skim through, incredibly interesting. It sort of tells a history about, as many of us feminists and people who are interested in history will know, women are very often written out of history, or skimmed over, or lied about. This book is about the history of women and their awesomeness. So it has 6 different sort of sections. So it has 1, the birth of the patriarchy, which is up to 600 CE. Purity, piety, and property from 600 to 1500, or the 600s to the 1500s. From Empire to Enlightenment from the 1500s to the 1800s. Knowledge and Power from the 1800s to 1914. Age of Empowerment from 1914 to 1960. And Smashing the Glass Ceiling from 1960 to the present day. And it talks about, well, all sort of stuff really, all of that. But it's not just like about Britain. It is obviously stuff about Britain, but there's lots of different cultures within it, from what I can tell. They talk about religion and how women are, there is parts about religion and how women are not hugely equal in a lot of religions, but how things like Wicca have become more popular due to like new wave feminism and things, and it's incredibly interesting. And I would suggest that if you don't want to buy this big heckin' chonker, it is a big book, listen to the audiobook or do your freaking research if you want to know, because this is an incredibly good place to start, because as someone who is a feminist and who likes to know about our history, it's a minefield to do research into. So this is a thing that my mother got me because she knew that I would enjoy it, and it's a good place to start. So yeah, especially as a young feminist, because I don't know where to start. Okay, so now on from all of this one non-fiction book I have been gifted. I have a series. This was gifted to me by my partner's mother. This is Philip Pullman's Dark Materials series. In the box and everything. Let me show you the books because they're very pretty. If you haven't seen the books, they're gorgeous. So, Northern Lights, Subtle Knife, Amber Spyglass. They're really pretty. Not the point though. But I've already started reading the first one, Northern Lights, and I'm really enjoying it so far, actually. It's a very interesting fantasy novel. And it's about, the thing is, it's one of those books I don't think you really know what it's about until it's over. But it's about this girl called Lyra and her animal demon called well, it just gets called Pan, but his name's like Panta something, I can't remember. I'll have it up here. But either way, it's incredibly interesting, and I got it because I was talking to her about it and was like, I want to watch the show as well, but I need to read the books first because that's me. and then I got them, and now my mum's literally begging me to finish reading them so we can talk about it. So I'm gonna finish reading them and then we'll talk about it. So the next book I'm going to be talking about, well, I say book, the next collection I'm going to be talking about is The Complete Works of Oscar Wilde, which is introduced by Merlin Holland. I wouldn't know, I probably won't read the introduction, to be honest. This was gifted to me by my mother as well. Most of these, all the gifts have been by my mother apart from that one, the Dark Materials, but his Dark Materials rather. But this is, I love Oscar Wilde's works from what I've read and of what I know about his life. I think his perspective is incredibly interesting. So I know I keep umming and ahhing, but yeah, this has, I think, all of his fiction and non-fiction. Let's find the, yeah, let me see. He has stories, plays, poems, a lot of those. Poems in prose and essays, selected journalism, lectures and letters. So I've read The Importance of Being Earnest, which is one of his most well-known plays, and a few of his like essay things. So for example, let me find it. The Critic as Artist, which is I think quite a well-known one, or one that's well quoted from at least, which I read years ago. But I have it in the flesh in this big book. This is, the pages are thin as frick, and it's like over 1,000 pages long, so this will be fun. But yeah, it's nice to have it all here. I was going to buy them all individually, but she got me this, and I've just realised that would take up about half my bookshelf. So we're not going to do that. But yeah, oh, there's a nice picture of Mr. Wilde himself. Anyway, yeah, that good book, or I'm hoping so. Anyway, now let's see. Okay, this is an absolutely remarkable thing by Hank Green. This book is a sort of contemporary, slightly, I think it's just really a contemporary. It's about this girl, this like teenage girl, I think, who goes viral after taking a picture of like a giant sort of statue thing, this giant sort of statue thing, and posts it on the internet, and it goes viral basically. And she sort of has to deal with all of that. As far as I know, I haven't read it yet, obviously. But this was one that I definitely wanted to get this year because you will, if you're on the internet, it is likely you know who Hank Green is. If you don't, his brother John Green, I'm sorry, Hank, I know I compare him to his brother, but that's because people know who John Green is more so. He's a writer. He wrote The Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, Paper Towns, lots of other books. Turtles All the Way Down is his most recent. But yeah, this is his brother, who also was the creator of VidCon, along with him and his brother and his father. So yeah, and I really like the way that Hank articulates his thoughts, which sounds really strange. But in terms of, I've watched Vlogburger. We'll try that again. I've watched Vlogbrothers for years, and I really enjoy the way he articulates himself and the way he talks, and it's very intelligent, even if he thinks he sounds like a numpty or whatever. But it's incredibly, he's incredibly well spoken, and I really hope it shows throughout this book. I mean, it's YA, so I'm not expecting like anything crazy, but I'm looking forward to reading it. So okay, 3 more gifts. So this next one is one that I also asked for. I asked for these and the next 2. So this is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El Mutar. If I'm saying that wrong, I probably am. I apologise profusely. This is a gay love story about 2, I think, like rival agents, yeah? 2 rival agents during the Time War. And it's a love story between 2 women or men. It's gay. I can't remember if it's lesbian or not though. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But either way, people were raving about it when it came out. And it's not a long read either, it's only 200-ish pages. So I'm really excited about it. Well, I say Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone, I realised. But yeah, I'm excited about this book. I'm going to read it soon when I'm finished reading any of the 3 books I'm currently reading. The next 2 are by the same person. So this is 2 Carrie Hope Fletcher novels, both of which I also asked for. So we'll do one at a time. So All That She Can See by Carrie Hope Fletcher. This is about a... Well, firstly, I asked for this because I love Carrie Hope Fletcher as an actress and as a singer, and I've read her autobiography and her debut novel, but I haven't read anything else of hers, so I'm catching up. But this is All That She Can See, which is a book about... It's a book about a baker, basically, who sort of puts magic into her pies, I guess, and then someone finds out. And it becomes a whole thing. I don't know a lot about the specifics, but I am excited to read it. Okay, finally in my gifted section is When the Curtain Falls by Carrie Hope Fletcher, which is a ghostly showmance, quite literally, because it is about a showmance that happens in recent years, but is... It's a showmance that's written in recent years, but is beforehand, there were in the 50s, there was a showmance, and those people died, presumably, and became ghosts, maybe? I don't, again, specifics, I'm not with you. I remember watching the video about it when she wrote it, but I can't remember. But either way, I'm excited because it looks like a good book. And also whoever the heck, I don't know who does them, whoever does the covers of her books is genius, because freaking gorgeous. Yeah, so that is all of my gifted. Now on to my bought. So I have 5 books here, so this will take significantly less time. The first one is Terry Pratchett's Snuff, which is a Discworld novel, part of his series. I say series, it's not sort of, as far as I know, it's a series, but you don't have to particularly read it in that order. I could be completely wrong about that, and I've just jumped into the 6th or whatever book, where are we, whatever number it is, it's somewhere along there. I don't know, but either way, it looked interesting, and it's about a cop and dead bodies, and it's fantastical and comedic and looks really good. So yep, that. Also, I've heard a lot of people talk about Snuff specifically, so we'll see. It's also a big book. It looks like it's about 500 pages. Yeah, 475 pages. So this is going to be a big one. Let's see. So the next one is War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Yeah, H.G. Wells. And this is a sort of very classic sci-fi alien invasion story. I heard this name firstly when talking about the musical, not the book, which is a shame because I wanted to go and see it and then I realised it's a book and it means I have to read it now. But this is I guess, a sort of classic, not fantasy, sci-fi book. I know of H.G. Wells vaguely, mostly thanks to Shipwrecked comedy, which is really strange. But yeah, it just looks incredibly interesting, this book, and I'm a fan of sci-fi, but I want to get into sci-fi more, and it's also only 189 pages, so you know, it's not a huge book either, and it's relatively decent sized script, so this is going to be an exciting one. I'm happy about it. So next is a book I've already started reading, which is Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. It always makes me laugh because Ray Bradbury just makes me think of Rachel Bloom, but no one knows who that is, and if you do, you'll appreciate my fun reference at a song she made many a year ago. But this is a book, yes, it is a book about book burning, as you can tell, about like a sort of, like a post-literature future, I guess, where they, anytime there are firefighters who, instead of putting out fires, burn things. And one of them is this guy who is Guy Montag, that's his name. Who he is a firefighter, but then he sort of meets this girl who mentions stuff about reading the books, and I think it leads him to do that, but I don't know because I've only read 20 pages. So but this is also not a huge book. It's 200 and something pages, 227 pages. So it's not a huge book either. I'm already about a third of the way through it, not a third, a quarter of the way through it, but it seems incredibly interesting. So yeah, that. Okay, two more, one of which I've read, one of which I haven't. The first is Greta Thunberg's book, No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference. This is the illustrated version, so it has sort of, let me find a good picture, it has a bunch of like, you know, photographs, and there was one I saw that I really liked, which are these ones as well. I was in Waterstones and just saw it and went, I want that, and got it. So yeah, I read this, I say book, I mean it is a book, but it's sort of just more like an essay collection, because it's all of her speeches up until, when was the last one? September 2019, in Canada, I think, is that one. But this is all of her speeches sort of put together, and I have such respect for Greta Thunberg for all of the awareness she's raised. And it's really cool because it has the thing on the back. But I have such respect for what she's doing and for how much time she's taking out of her life to try and make a difference. And for a little make-believe activist like myself, it gives me hope that we can make a difference, to be honest. Because no one is too small to make a difference. But yeah, I find it really interesting. A lot of people reviewed this and said it was repetitive, and yes, it was, because it was lots of speeches in different places that hadn't heard what she was saying before. So of course she's going to repeat the stuff about it being a 1.5 Celsius and all that, and all the stats. But it was incredibly interesting and moving, actually, incredibly moving, to hear her talk about it being a crisis and that we should treat it like one, which we frickin' should. But that's a whole other thing, and I don't have the energy to rant about climate change right now. But yeah, would recommend. Get it, read it, do things. I think I gave this 5 stars on Goodreads. I read it within, I read through the whole thing. Some of the speeches I've already seen, obviously I've seen a lot of the speeches already, but I just literally sat and read it in about half an hour. So it's not a huge read, because it's her speeches and it's separated, it's only 100 and something pages long, 136, and it's split in between with pictures and things, so it's not a huge read. It's incredibly small, actually. But yeah, it was worthwhile and made me feel important, so we'll take that. And the last one is a big book, like 1,103 pages long, big book. It's Arthur Conan Doyle's The Complete Sherlock Holmes. This is the 150-year anniversary version, which is why it's green, and has a written introduction by P.D. James. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure they're incredibly interesting. But I had the little like version of Sherlock Holmes that had some starter books in it, the volume 1 of it anyway, from the show writers of the show Sherlock, with Benedict Cumberbatch in it. That show, which I loved, by the way. I fully devoured that show, and then cried in season 4, a lot. But this, I've always wanted to have the complete Sherlock Holmes, which again, the pages are so thin, and there is 1,100 and I think 3 or 6 of them. I'm wrong. 1,122 pages, so it's big. And it's so hefty. But I always been incredibly interested in Sherlock Holmes as the written works. So I have them now. I legitimately was about to buy one and saw, oh, classics, and ran over and got it because I knew it'd be there. So yes, that is all of my books that I bought and have been gifted over the Christmas period. Saying that, we've still got a few days left before New Year, so I might buy a ridiculous amount more. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Please remember to drink your water, eat your vegetables, and peace out, I guess.